Yo, what is going on, guys? I wanted to go ahead and talk to you briefly about what I'm dropping on MaddenDaily.com, and that is going to be the Arizona Cardinals Offensive Guide. Now, in total, I break down 34 different setups. That does not include the gameplays that are also going to be included. I do have gameplays from MUT and also Regs, so you guys can see how I play in both modes. And most importantly, what I did with this guide is I didn't focus on any abilities. Obviously, abilities can make your players act like superheroes. This scheme is not ability based. You can run this scheme with no abilities against even the best MUT teams, and that's what I did in the gameplay. I went up against a pro player, no abilities, and pretty much dominated the game. The final score of that game was 27-0. So like the game was a wrap. And in total, I think I threw one or two incomplete passes, and it was just, a great offensive performance. But the offense is easy. And that's the thing I wanted to go ahead and kind of show you in the sense is basically the way that I built this offense, I built it very similar to how I built my New Orleans scheme from last year, where I utilize a simple route that can't be guarded. Like your opponent's going to have to manually guard it, and then we set up all of our other beaters, man or zone beaters around it, basically. And keep in mind, this is not a one-play type of ebook. I go through, I think, 5 different formations in total, but overall, like I'm using this whole Arizona Cardinals offensive scheme, and this one route in this guide forces my opponent's hand. Like I can dictate what they're going to be in, whether it is man coverage and it is the meta, whether the man coverage with the 2 purples. If it's that meta, they're still going to get popped. If they are utilizing the abilities, the one step ahead, they're still going to get popped. It doesn't matter. Basically, the way that we've built the whole scheme is if we're not getting sacked, and you guys know how difficult it is to get pressure in this game, although that will change when Litez drops his Defensive Ebook. That's gonna change the meta defensively. This scheme has already faced it, right? I've already faced the meta that we know is coming, and this scheme is built to face it. Like this, you're going to be able to run this offense against anybody you play, and truthfully, barring some crazy patch, this offense is future proof. It is pass heavy, so if you like running the ball, this is not going to be the offense for you. But in terms of passing the ball, going up and down the field very quick, hitting one play scores, being able to dink and dunk, and basically just have a ton of different routes that your opponent cannot guard unless they manually guard them themselves. That's the name of the game, in my opinion, and that's what we did with this scheme. Now, the plays, I should say, is mesh and mesh post out of cluster strong. Now, throw out all the other routes in the field. I'm not going to make any single adjustment in this video. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the auto motion. Now, as you guys can see, we utilize a package to get the receiver at tight end. That's the auto motion spot. Now, we can still audible over to all of our other 3 receiver sets that we use because we do sub in a tight end. So we don't lose the ability to sub that in. But with that being said, right, like we have the speed advantage in the most important spot in our scheme, and that's huge. So in this scheme, that player is going to be against linebackers, safeties, low end corners. Like they're never going to have their number 1 corner on our 4th receiver. It's just not going to happen. People don't play that way, and if they do, then we can easily abuse that, which I'll show you here in a second as well. So not going to get into too much detail because all this stuff is in the ebook, but just want to go ahead and focus on this one particular route, right? So the route that is being ran by X, Will Fuller. When we hike this ball, Will Fuller's going to get open, period. Doesn't matter what coverage shell it's in, Will Fuller's going to get open. Now, here's some gameplay clips. This is against man coverage stock. As you can see, this is Regs. Easy little pass, right at the sideline, good to go, right? Touchdown. Now, that is against the man coverage stock, meaning that they didn't adjust their coverage to, stop the man switch glitch. This one is against cover 4 palms. As you can see with palms, it does glitch out, allowing the corners and everybody to flip, gives you an easy touchdown. This one is with the man glitch counter. So I don't know if you guys saw it pre-snap, but the man switch actually caused it to basically switch because he was trying to counter the normal one. And here's just a cover 4 drop. As you can see, even the outside quarters and outside thirds will not be able to pick this off. And last but not least, here's one against cover 2. And as you guys see, it does get over the top of the cloud flat or the soft squat, whatever the case may be. Now, as I mentioned, we can cause a swap between the 4th receiver and our number 1 receiver. So if they do try to basically outsmart us by putting their best corner at the number 4 spot, all we have to do is audible over to cluster, or we can simply audible to any of these other sets. But audibling straight over to cluster will make our number 4 receiver and our tight end swap. So now their best corner would actually be guarding our worst receiver in essence, because that is a tight end. So it is a complete scheme overall. You guys that do end up purchasing or seeing the guide, you guys will see that we've put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this. We've faced the metas in money games. We faced it in MUT. We faced it in Regs. We faced it against all the really good abilities. And the best part about it is we don't need abilities ourselves. And keep in mind, this is only one route that I'm talking about in this video. We do have other routes like slant outs that get over the top of any sort of zone, basically forcing our opponent to play hard flats every play. It's the scheme is crazy. I promise you guys, if you check it out, you guys are going to love it. And with that being said, hope you guys do, and we'll catch you next time.